What's up, guys? So today we're here to talk about goal setting. Goals, why they're so important to set, how to make them crystal clear, why setting them is a non-negotiable if you actually want to accomplish something and have lasting success, why and how our brains try to wiggle their way out of them a little bit, and what to do and how to set them. So the number one problem when people want to lose weight that I see is they don't really know how to set goals. They don't know how proper goal setting will set them up for success and how bad goal setting will always set them up for failure. So here's what I hear. Right? I want to lose weight. I'm trying to focus on my nutrition. Well, I'm doing X more, right? I'm walking more or I'm hitting the gym more. So let's break a couple of these down a little bit. I want to lose weight. Okay. Do you want or do you need? Right? It's not very clear here. We're not being very clear. So throughout this whole goal, all these goals, we're not being very clear. So I want to lose weight. Lose weight. Well, how much? Do you want to lose fat weight? Do you want to lose muscle weight? When do you want to lose it by? So there's no crystal clear vision of exactly what you're doing, right? So when you verbalize it that way, you're thinking that way, you're not being crystal clear on your goals, right? There's no action steps here either. So let's go back. Let's go into, I'm trying to focus on my nutrition. I'm trying to focus on my health. I'm trying to focus on my nutrition. Okay, are you trying or are you doing? Let's define focus. What does focus mean? You're thinking about it a little bit. You're feeling upset when you make a mistake about it. You're, stressing about it, you're struggling with it, right? What does it actually mean to focus? Where are the action steps there, right? On your nutrition. Okay, what do you mean nutrition? You're just trying to eat healthier. What does that exactly mean? So there's no, it's not very clear. There's no action steps. So, well, I'm doing X more, right? I'm walking more, or I'm hitting the gym more. I'm hitting the gym harder. I'm really trying hard. Yeah, but there's really, what's the connection there between what you want to do and your goal? How is that actually going to help you? I think a lot of times we think, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do. But what I find is people really don't know that that's the right thing, right? So we need clarity, right? You need that vision to be ultra clear. You need that goal to be ultra clear. You need to have action steps within your goal. You need that vision to be really clear. You need that goal to be just crystal clear. You need action steps within your goal and you need accountability kind of built in there. When we verbalize things in that way, like I just want to lose weight versus I'm going to lose 20 pounds by January. So your brain is trying to wiggle its way out of accountability with that. It's kind of subconscious here is what I found, is that you're trying to give yourself an out. And we'll talk about a little bit about that later and why we do that. Let's go over I want to lose weight and how we can make that better, right? So I want to lose weight. Let's make that a little clearer. I'm going to lose 20 pounds by July so I can feel more confident when I take my shirt off at the pool. Right? See how we got that a much more crystal clear. We even brought it down to the situation and the feeling that you're going to get from doing that. Right? So we're much clearer. Right? And then beyond that, we could go into action steps, which we'll talk a little bit about later. So why aren't we very clear on our goals? So a lot of times I find this is subconscious and not really a conscious thought that people have, but it goes along with the same thing as, why we don't share them, why we don't write them down, why they aren't clear. Right? It's because we want to stay comfortable. Right? There's a fear of failure there. And it's also actually a fear of success. So let me explain that a little bit. Your brain is giving you outs in case you fail. It's trying to protect itself in that way, but it really isn't because this is a failure already. Your brain is saying, just don't try it because if you don't try it, you didn't fail. But this is wrong and I'll show you why in a second. So the analogy I like to use here is, you probably have heard this, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. What your brain is saying is that you're in the situation, you want to take the shot and try to accomplish something, but what if you fail, right? It's giving that, like, what if you mess up? It's trying to protect itself from that failure. And so it says, don't even try to take the shot because if you don't take the shot, you never missed. But in reality, whether you take the shot and miss or you don't take the shot, you missed. You're in the same exact place you are. The only way that you get success out of this is if you try, right? If you open yourself up to the possibility of failure. So your brain is trying to protect itself and it's trying to protect you from that failure. But in reality, you're not, because you'll never be successful unless you take that shot. So if you don't try, you failed already. You are already in the same boat, whether you try or not. So when you learn how to connect with your goals and set crystal clear goals, you learn how to set and achieve things you thought were impossible. You'll be amazed at what you're able to do when you do this. You have to set your aim. What is it you would like to accomplish? X. Okay, I've got what I'd like to accomplish. Okay, what do you get out of that? Right? You have to find your why. So this is how we connect the dots between your why and your goal. This is how you turn the finite goal that you want to accomplish into a more infinite game. Right? We'll talk a little bit about this later on why it's important to connect with your why. But I've also got links to my other videos on why it is a game changer to connect to your why. So let's go through a little bit of that here on why you should connect with your why and what it does for your goals. So if you want to accomplish X, then you get Y. Why is the feeling, right? Your why is the feeling of what you get by accomplishing that goal. It's what you really get beyond the finite thing that you accomplish, right? So it's the feeling you get from taking your shirt off at the pool and showing off your abs, right? It's the feeling you get. So let's walk through this exercise, right? So this is kind of setting up your goals, making them crystal clear, getting connected with your why, and getting to the feeling of what you get out of that goal, right? So let's say you love The World's Strongest Man. You followed like Hafthor, Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw. You love watching them. And so one of the things that you might enjoy and you might really like to accomplish is to be the strongest person in the world. So how would you do that? What would you have to accomplish to be the strongest person in the world? Like those guys, right? Well, what they've done is they've won the world's strongest man, or they've deadlifted the most at the Arnold Sports Festival. And those guys thought about that years ago, right? So you have to think about that as your 5-year plan. If you want to be the world's strongest man in the world, those are the things you need to accomplish in 5 years. That's kind of where you want to be, right? You need to work it back from there. So we're getting that vision, that thing crystal clear, right? This is what you want to do. Okay, now why do you want to do that? Let's connect with that a little deeper. Why do you want to do that? What do you get out of that? What do those guys get out of that, right? So that's your why. You want to ask yourself here, what do I get out of becoming the world's strongest man, right? Is it confidence? Is it you get rid of that, you kind of shrug that chip on your shoulder off a little bit? Is it, you feel less than about something? There's something there. There's a feeling, right? You're going to feel better from accomplishing that. You're going to get rid of a negative feeling from accomplishing that. So connect with your why there. And then you got to bring it down from those 5 years, right? And go to that 4-year. Okay, what does that look like in year 4? Well, you're probably competing at a pretty high level within strongman, right? You pretty much know that everything there is to know about what to do and how to do it. Year 3, you're probably competing in strongman and winning some competitions, maybe like state, national, things like that. Year 2, you're probably, you've won your first competition or you are competing in multiple competitions. And year 1, okay, what does that look like? Right now you need to boil it down to your action steps. What do I need to do every day? Right? Where do you start? Your action step would be, okay, I need to get a gym. Maybe you don't have a gym membership, right? I need to find a gym. Okay, I need to find a gym that these other guys are training at. I need to go there every day, right? I need to follow these people and figure out what they're doing, right? I need to figure out an action plan for my nutrition, right? So, okay, what are you going to eat every day? You write that down. What's your exercise regimen? You write that down, right? So start going through the action steps within that year 1. So now we've got our 5-year plan, you've got your why, right? And you've got your action steps year 1. And as you kind of progress through that, right? That's when you rewrite that plan, right? And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that in a second here. So sometimes this is where I see that fear of failure kind of creep back in with people. Oh, I can't do that. Or I can't envision myself doing that, right? I can't see myself becoming the world's strongest man. Oh, that's too hard, right? Perfectionism is a bad thing during this time, right? You can't start out in that year looking at your action steps and going, I need to be perfect. You're going to fail. You need to fail. You need to learn from those failures. You got to get reps in, and eventually you start getting wins, or you start getting W's. You'd be amazed how much faster you learn as you fail through these things instead of just trying to be perfect and not start. Making that vision crystal clear and connecting with your why, it will make it so powerful. That's where you will be in 5 years. That vision is so clear in your mind. Every day you wake up thinking about it. You envision it. You spend time daily researching and learning about it. You go to bed at night and you dream about it, right? You keep it forefront of mind. You really, really, really focus on it. You focus on it that way, and you focus on it because of your action steps, the things you're doing every day. And over that year, you're going to develop. You're going to get closer to that goal. You're going to get new information, right? And you're going to get wins. And with each win, that vision will become clearer and clearer. And that fear of failure will start to fade away. When we get new information as we get closer to our goals, I want to talk about that a little bit, right? So the only reason our goals should change, the finite goals should change, right? Or even our why a little bit, is when we get new information. If you start having that fear of failure, or I can't make it, or I don't know if I can do this, or I don't think I can do this, what you need to figure out is this just my fear of failure, or is this new information that I'm receiving that I need to adjust my frame of reference on for my goals? Let's say you're trying to become the world's strongest man, you start training, and then you find out, well, to get to that level, you have to put your health at risk because of some of the stuff they have to take. Right? That's new information that kind of came to you. You have to think about that and go, do I really want to do that? And if you don't want to do that, okay, that's new information, right? So you need to change your goals based on that. So your direction change, right? But the great thing about this is you've already connected with your why. You already know why you want to be the world's strongest man. So you haven't failed at your goal. You haven't failed at accomplishing it because you're taking steps to get closer to your why. You've seen that happen already. So you still get to take steps closer to your why and feel good about it and get wins, even if your finite goal changes because of new information. That's one of the reasons that I think connecting with your why is just a game changer. One of the reasons I've seen it be a game changer for people. Because what didn't change is that you took steps closer to your goals and your why. You got some wins. You feel better. That will cascade into your next goal. Because your why is guiding that vision now. And because you're doing things that align with that why and that you feel good about. So that will cascade into your next goal. Your why is guiding that vision now. And because you're doing things that align with that, you feel good about your changing goals. Not bad that you didn't accomplish them. You feel good with each step you take. So we just walked through how to do that. So what do you need to do? You need to write your goals down, right? You need to get that super, super clear, right? Start with that 5-year plan. You need to think about your why, what you get out of that. Write down your why. Think about it daily. So I want to share with you guys a story on why writing your goals down is super powerful. And this is a personal story for me. What I did is I write a ton of notes on my computer. If you have an Apple, you know what I'm talking about. There's a notes thing that you can use and just write things down. It just automatically saves them. It's pretty easy to quick reference and use for a lot of different things. But I had over 200 of them. I was going through and I was just getting rid of some of the junk that I don't use on there anymore. And I'm going through this one, I'm just glancing at it to see what it is. And I'd written some goals down. And there were a couple goals on there. And 2 of them just stood out right away. And they surprised the heck out of me because I didn't even remember writing them down. I hadn't even thought about them since then consciously. Oh yeah, that goal I wrote down. Oh yeah, that goal I'm working towards, right? I didn't think about it consciously at all. And one was to get to a certain body fat percentage. And another one was a business goal. And they stood out to me because I realized I had accomplished those goals. I wrote this down probably over a year ago. Don't even remember doing it. And I realized I had accomplished those goals. And so that really spoke to me on, I knew that writing your goals down is really powerful. For all the reasons I just explained, right? But just to have that feeling on that subconscious level, see how you could write something down, completely forget about it. Not that I haven't thought about it consciously, but I didn't think about writing that goal down and keep continually working towards that goal. But just so that you can, write something down and then you see that accomplishment later, man, that was very powerful for me. So just because I wrote it down, somehow something in my mind was allowing me to really, come out on top and accomplish that goal. So it was to get to a certain body fat percentage and accomplish a business goal. I did those 2 things and I was amazed. So get crystal clear on your goals. Write them down, right? So I would tell you, you need to share your goals with as many people as possible here, right? You can start with your loved ones, your circle of friends, but I would encourage you to step outside your comfort zone here. Really share that with as many people as you can, because the more you do, the more accountable you're going to be to it. And what I found is that if you get accountable in that way, you learn to hold yourself more accountable. So to be more accountable to your goals, you're going to write them down, get that crystal clear, right? Write out the action steps, get that crystal clear. And then you want to share this with as many people as possible. The other thing I suggest with people is to get a coach, get somebody to hold you accountable in whatever arena. It doesn't have to be health and fitness, but whatever arena that you're trying to get better in, you get such a high return on investment by having an expert, right? Help you reach your goals, hold you accountable, give you advice, give you their expert guidance on how to get it done. Get a much better return on investment when you do that. So I hope this helps. Write down your goals, get clear, get it done.